Happening now, you won't believe Leonor's arrival for the royal wedding. It was supposed to be a standard royal arrival, polished, predictable, and perfectly rehearsed. But what happened today has left royal watchers and fans across the world absolutely speechless. Because when Princess Leonor arrived in Denmark for her royal wedding, she didn't just make an entrance, she made a statement that no one will ever forget. Spain is reeling. Denmark is glowing. And the entire royal world can't stop talking about the moment that changed everything. The cameras were ready. The crowd was waiting. Every reporter had the same headline prepared: Princess Leonor of Spain arrives for her royal wedding. But no one could have predicted what they'd actually see when she stepped out of that royal jet. Under the bright Danish morning sky, Princess Leonor emerged, not in traditional Spanish royal wear, not surrounded by guards or aides, but alone. Calm, confident, radiant. Her presence was unlike anything we've seen from her before. The moment her foot touched the runway, the crowd fell silent. Because in that instant, Leonor didn't look like a royal following protocol. She looked like a woman stepping fully into her destiny. And that's what stunned everyone. For years, Spain has watched her grow, from a quiet girl standing beside her father, King Felipe, to a poised young woman serving her country with dignity. But today, something shifted. It was as if every lesson, every expectation, every ounce of pressure had finally transformed into one moment of pure, undeniable self-assurance. Her outfit spoke volumes. Gone were the predictable royal tones. Instead, she wore a soft pastel blue ensemble, elegant, modern, and symbolic. Royal watchers quickly noted that the shade mirrored the official color of Denmark's royal crest. Subtle, but intentional. A perfect bridge between two nations. And yet, the most talked about detail wasn't what she wore, it was how she arrived. No grand entourage. No fanfare. Just Leonor, greeting the Danish hosts personally, in flawless Danish. The crowd gasped. Reporters scrambled. Every news outlet replayed the clip again and again: Spain's future queen, greeting her soon-to-be-in-laws with warmth, confidence, and effortless grace. It wasn't just royal etiquette. It was diplomacy, emotion, and humanity, all in one breathtaking gesture. And it was only the beginning. Minutes later, as she approached the motorcade, Leonor spotted a small group of Spanish fans behind the security barricades, many waving Spanish flags and homemade signs. Instead of walking past, she stopped. She walked directly toward them, breaking every royal rule of timing and distance. Smiling, she took their hands and said softly, "Gracias por venir. Hoy, representamos a España juntos." Thank you for coming. Today, we represent Spain together. That single sentence, captured by a fan's phone, has now become one of the most replayed royal clips of the year. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't rehearsed. It was real, and it hit home. Because in that small act of connection, Leonor reminded Spain of what she truly stands for: a new kind of monarchy. One that listens. One that feels. One that leads with empathy rather than distance. But that moment also carried deeper meaning. Insiders have revealed that Leonor's decision to greet the public directly was made against some palace advice. Senior aides reportedly urged her to stay formal and keep focus on Denmark. But Leonor had other plans. She wanted to remind her people that even as she marries into another royal family, her heart remains with Spain. And that, perhaps, is why her arrival hit so hard. Because this wasn't just about a wedding. It was about identity, about legacy, about a young woman, showing the world who she truly is, before she says, "I do." As her car made its way from the airport to Amalienborg Palace, crowds lined the streets of Copenhagen. Danish citizens cheered, but Spanish flags waved proudly among them. It was as if two nations were merging not just through marriage, but through emotion. And yet, beneath the glamour, there's a quiet undercurrent. Royal insiders whisper of the pressures surrounding this union. For months, the Spanish and Danish royal households have been carefully managing every detail: protocols, appearances, even the order of events. But today, with one symbolic arrival, Leonor took control of the narrative. She's not just the bride. She's the bridge. And that realization has shaken even the most traditional corners of the royal world. As she arrived at the palace steps, Prince Christian was waiting. The two locked eyes in that brief moment before the cameras. It wasn't a stiff royal greeting, it was something genuine, almost cinematic. Christian stepped forward first, offering his hand before the official photographer could even position them. Leonor smiled, visibly emotional. That single image, Christian reaching for Leonor, has become the photo of the day across Europe. And yet, what happened next deepened the emotional tone even further. Before entering the palace, Leonor turned slightly, looking back toward the crowd. She lifted her hand, not in a wave, but in a small, graceful salute. A gesture she'd seen her father, King Felipe, use at national ceremonies. The symbolism wasn't lost on anyone. It was as if she was saying, "This is still for Spain." Spanish television anchors fell silent. Commentators described the moment as historic, unexpected, and deeply human. For the first time in modern royal history, a Spanish heir's marriage felt like a story of love and leadership. But as emotional as it was, the story behind her arrival goes even deeper. According to palace sources, Leonor spent weeks preparing this moment, not for image, but for meaning. Every detail of her arrival was personally reviewed by her, from the music playing at the airport to the arrangement of Spanish and Danish flags. She wanted it to be perfect, not because of cameras, but because of what it represented, the blending of her roots with her future. And it worked. By the time she entered Amalienburg Palace, even royal critics were left with nothing to say. The same media that once called her too reserved, or too rehearsed, are now calling her Europe's most natural future queen. And yet, the deeper you look, the clearer it becomes, this was more than a moment of grace. It was a declaration of identity. Leonor's arrival was a message to Spain, to Denmark, and to the entire royal world. She is not stepping into history quietly. She is rewriting what it means to be royal in the modern age. From the shy young girl who once read her first speech at age 13, trembling before a nation, to the poised woman who arrived in Copenhagen today, every step of Leonor's journey has been building to this. And now, as she prepares to walk down the aisle, the world isn't just watching a wedding. It's witnessing a transformation. For Spain, this is pride. For Denmark, it's joy. For Leonor, it's destiny. And as the bells of Copenhagen prepare to ring for her royal union, one truth stands clear: this is not just another chapter in royal history. It's the dawn of a new one. Because when Princess Leonor arrived for her wedding today, she didn't just step into Denmark, she stepped into the future. And that future, as the world just witnessed, begins with a single, unforgettable moment. Her arrival, her presence, her power, and the quiet, undeniable message that echoed through every heart watching. Spain has found its queen.